The newest installment brought a powerful emotional blow for Harry Mitchell after a significant revelation concerning Teddy Mitchell. Earlier in the week, Okie confronted Kojo in his flat while armed with a knife. When Harry rushed in to defend Kojo, the situation erupted into a fierce altercation that ended with Okie being unintentionally fatally wounded by Harry. After the incident, Harry planned to confess everything to the police, but Teddy stepped forward and took responsibility in his place. He intentionally put his fingerprints on the blade and was promptly arrested for Okie's killing. In the episode prior, once he had been taken in, Teddy contacted Nicola to explain that he was officially being charged with murder. In the next episode, Nicola broke the difficult news to Barney and Harry that Teddy was now facing prosecution for Okie's death. Barney, unaware of Harry's involvement, grew distressed while Nicola attempted to keep Harry composed as Barney fell apart emotionally. Speaking softly in the corridor, Nicola told Harry that his father had done what he believed was right and would willingly repeat it to keep him safe. Not understanding their conversation, Barney demanded clarification, leading Nicola to claim Teddy had acted purely in defense of himself. Elsewhere, Junior Knight was preparing for a move abroad. When he discovered Kojo desperately knocking at Harry's door, he became furious after learning their father planned to send Kojo back to Ghana. Harry ignored the noise outside, nervously picked up his phone, and sent a message to someone named Glenn asking if he was available. Meanwhile, at the prison, Teddy confessed to Nicola that he intended to plead guilty to protect Harry, leaving her shocked and heartbroken. He informed her that he had already made the decision known to the authorities and knew exactly how she would respond. Nicola, stunned, questioned whether he had completely lost his judgment. Teddy stressed to the emotional Nicola that he had no other choice. He said he couldn't let the case go to trial and was prepared to serve up to 15 years if it ensured Harry stayed out of prison. Back home, the situation deteriorated further when Nicola realized Harry had relapsed and taken drugs again. Finding him barely conscious on the couch, she frantically called emergency services, saying, "It's my son, I think he's taken an overdose." EastEnders fans distracted by Ravi's appearance minutes into BBC show. As the chaos following Okie's demise kept escalating, it was Ravi who unexpectedly grabbed viewers' attention and sparked discussion among observant EastEnders fans. Audiences were surprised to see Ravi back on screen on Thursday, November 13th, especially considering he had been attacked by George Knight only a short time earlier. Days before, Okie's intimidating behavior came to a violent end when he was accidentally killed during a fierce confrontation with Harry Mitchell. Their fight broke out soon after Harry was released from Okie's imprisonment, where he had been forced into taking drugs against his will. It also emerged that Kojo Asare had been pressured into drug dealing under Ravi's influence. Before Okie's death, he cornered Kojo with a knife, demanding to know what information he had shared with the police, leaving him shaken and terrified. On Tuesday, November 11th, retired fighter George confronted Ravi after learning how badly Kojo had been affected by the situation. Ravi, who had been freed by the authorities after agreeing to act as an informant, casually handed George a drink while sarcastically apologizing for not being locked up. George immediately defended Kojo, calling him the kindest man he had ever met, and labeling Ravi the lowest individual he'd ever encountered. He then warned Ravi to stay away from their family. However, as George moved to leave, Ravi made a cruel comment about Kojo's autism. George responded by delivering a punch to Ravi's face, but chose not to inflict any serious damage. By Thursday, November 13th, Junior Knight had also made his way to Ravi's home to tell him firmly to stay away from Kojo. When the door opened, Ravi appeared embarrassed, sporting a dramatic purple bruise around his eye, a very visible reminder of George's earlier hit. The intensity of the colouring quickly dominated the scene, with many viewers unable to overlook its almost exaggerated, stage-like appearance. Some fans said it distracted from the tension at the door entirely. Soon after, social media erupted with reactions. One confused viewer wrote on X, Is that makeup bruise on Ravi supposed to look like that? Others joined in with jokes and questions, debating whether the makeup department had gone too far or purposely opted for a bold effect. What started as commentary on the story soon shifted into a discussion about the unexpectedly striking makeup work. EastEnders star's final scenes air after the actor was axed from the show, and another 2 exits are coming. The departure marks the first of several changes expected as the show's new chief begins reshaping the cast. An EastEnders actor's final appearance has now been broadcast after the performer was let go from the series. The actor was dropped from the BBC drama after around a year and a half on screen, having joined as the long-lost son of George Knight. Following a fling with his former stepmom and an abandoned storyline involving plans to modernise the area and overhaul the market, it became clear his character was on borrowed time. In the latest episode, fans saw him bid farewell to everyone he'd built connections with during his stay in the community. He parted ways with his ex, embraced his siblings, handed his treasured vehicle to his uncle for safekeeping, and warned his father to keep his distance from Nicola Mitchell. After that, he drove away from the neighbourhood to begin a fresh chapter in Dubai. A show source previously commented, "Producers chose not to extend his contract, and he completed filming his last scenes a few weeks ago." He was obviously disappointed, but he knows this is how the industry works. Viewers will see his exit before Christmas, and the character hasn't been completely written out. However, he isn't the only performer set to leave the series in the coming months. It was previously disclosed that 2 additional cast members, Bobby Brazier and Molly Rainford, will be departing the show later this year. A representative confirmed the news, saying, "We can confirm that Bobby Brazier will be stepping away from EastEnders, and we wish him every success with whatever comes next." A production source shared further insight. The team recently met with Bobby to discuss a new storyline idea, and it happened to align with his own desire to pursue projects outside the soap. The decision worked out well for both parties, though his final scenes won't air for a while yet. He's delivered a memorable performance, but this feels like the right point for him to branch out, and for the show to bring Freddie Slater's story to a natural close. The network also confirmed Molly's exit, stating, "We can announce that Molly Rainford will be leaving EastEnders later this year, and we offer her our best wishes for the future." Another insider added, "Molly joined the cast 2 years ago and has been trusted with several prominent plots during her time. As she began exploring new career possibilities, conversations were held about where her character might go next, and both sides agreed that this was the right moment for Anna Knight to leave Walford behind." EastEnders continues to air from Monday to Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on BBC One. Fans who prefer to watch ahead of the broadcast can catch episodes early on BBC iPlayer from 6 a.m.